So we open the third to last episode of this entire just mess. It's called Better Than Sex. And our favorite sprightly 900-year-old woman is reading what sounds like the final words metaphor of her historical novel that lacks only a named protagonist, a plot, a sense of time, place, and context, and conflict, just the basic tenets of storytelling, which is something this show's writers obviously do not have and never have had. Now, we are going to take a look here at one Samantha Irby, who is also on trial here because she has the sole writing credit on this utter embarrassment. I think she's been in the writer's room since season 1. And she is a self-described, you know what? No, the media and the publishing industrial complex refer to Samantha Irby in all seriousness, like straight face, like she's one of our foremost humorists and cultural commentators. Not so. So we are forensically taking this episode apart, and a little background on Samantha Irby per her wiki. Irby has been open about her struggles with Crohn's disease, degenerative arthritis, and depression, often discussing her experiences in her writing. And she's a fairly young woman, so she's a great time. Lots of fun. Also, according to her wiki, who would put this in here? Like, she had somebody go put this in here. She is friends with the writers, insufferable writers, humorless writers, in my opinion, Roxane Gay and Lindy West. Now, these two have been at the forefront of the so-called body positivity movement, and I would love to see how Samantha Irby justifies her existence with those two, writing for the likes of Sarah Jessica Parker, who is a waif. So, again, we return to the 900-year-old woman's passage, which was doubtless written by Samantha Irby. Quote, "Autumn was here, and as the leaves turned gold and the air turned crisp." Okay, there are 2 crimes here. I'm just going to stop it right now. Now, do you remember we talked about our patron saint, Elmore Leonard, and his 10 rules of writing? Rule number 1 is never open a book or a passage, my supposition, I subscribe to it, with weather. With weather. Weather is relegated to small talk in an office elevator with someone you barely know or can barely stand. Number 2, in one line, we have what writers and editors call a word rep, which is using the same word more than once. So in that sentence alone, that sentence fragment, she has used the words turned twice. Now, I will give her this. For rhythmic purposes, that might be acceptable, but keep your ear out for more. And I quote, we return. I just did a word rep. The woman returned to herself. Her hours turned into days. Her days turned into weeks. Her pain turned into productivity. This is lousy writing. This is hackneyed. It is cliched. There are 0 specifics. And frankly, her editor would know that this louse of someone who dares to call herself a writer is just trying to reach her contractually obligated word count. And this book would never, ever, ever be published. We continue. The family that would never inhabit her home or her heart, by which she means the future school shooter named Wyatt, faded from her life, like all things and people inconvenient to carry do. They just sort of fade from her life. We never hear the words Mr. Big ever. It's like she was never married. She literally said in one episode this season, I was never married. All of this, by the way, just happened like a second ago. We return. The way the golden leaf faded to brown at her feet. This is sloppy slop heap. A quick fact check, asking Google AI, tells me that it typically takes a leaf 1 week to turn from gold to brown or red to brown. So has the woman been struck by what we'll call nerve paralysis in her garden for an entire week? What is she, a statue sitting there waiting for a leaf to turn brown at her feet without dying of starvation or dehydration? Now to our ending. She had done all she could. She had done all she could. She had done all she could. This struck me as a very lazy, humorless callback to one of the worst scenes ever committed on the original SATC. And that includes the pun that I will not and never have repeated. Here we go.
You have to forgive me.
This is her plea after cheating on him and Aiden all over town with Big.
You have to forgive me, Aiden.
He's impassive.
Forgive me. You have to forgive me.
Oh, that scene was terrible. The acting, the writing, it was awful. And it's Pete Carey. You have to forgive me. Well, why? Why? She doesn't say anything about why she's sorry or how sorry she is. In fact, she doubles down and he says, I don't want you to see that guy again. A perfectly logical request. And she says to him, not happening, but I'm going to whinge and moan over here. Okay, like the baby she is. Back to this episode of And Just Like That, Carrie saunters down to her waiting, scotch-swilling British writer. We're going to get into the way he swills scotch because even that just bugged the shit out of me. Her house, by the way, is now suddenly fully furnished and decorated because timelines mean nothing to these writers. And here he sits, this guy named Duncan, astonished that he is in the presence of such a titanic talent. Here we go.
My dear, if I drank as much as you deserved, I'd be returning home to Mrs. Thatcher schnockered every night, and she would not appreciate it, nor would my rapidly approaching deadline.
Oh, God, please don't tell me that helping with my book has put you behind.
A little. But worse, it shamed me.
Okay. You have got to scroll back a little bit. And again, if you're listening to this episode, I'm going to implore you to watch it because it's all audiovisual. We're doing a ton of, we're showing the perpetrators in action. Okay. We caught them on surveillance footage, red-handed. So Duncan says to her, yes, in fact, actually reading your book about the woman, we don't know what's happened in this book really at all, except her lover comes back and dies. He says, yeah, it's put me back. I'm going to blow my deadline, which by the way, writers always blow their first deadline. It's a common knowledge in publishing. The first deadline's never the real one. Anyway, he says, yes, in fact, I have. And Sarah Jessica Parker's Carrie closes her eyes, sighs, and shudders a little bit. It's like she's had like a mini orgasm. She's so thrilled by this idea that he sacrificed his own attempt at creating something meaningful to tend to her bullshit over here. Okay, it's not enough. We have to get some more gushing about how writing just comes so easily to Carrie. So easily that her first draft of, by the way, her first attempt at fiction. It's very hard to switch gears. Is a jewel. It's a masterpiece. And as a writer myself, this really offends me because as discussed previously, everyone's first draft is for shit. I don't care who you are. To quote Ernest Hemingway, there's nothing to writing. All you have to do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. But not our Carrie. Not the best sex writer the local penny saver's ever seen. So now we've got some more groveling at Carrie's feet. And really, these are the feet of Sarah Jessica Parker, who is psychologically fused to this character to the point of psychosis. Take a look.
Really? Is it indulgent?
No, don't worry. I'll let you know if the prose gets too purple. Okay. Now you steeled yourself. The opening paragraph of chapter 16 is too purple.
It's lavender at its worst.
Oh, well, what do I know? I only have 5 best-selling books.
I have 7.
My biographies are 700 pages long.
The plots are already written for you.
So again, that is this entire effort of reviving Sex in the City, and we're at its peak, its apex. It's to satiate the ego, the monster ego of one Sarah Jessica Parker. This guy is a literary, respected historical biographer. He's got 5 bestsellers, which is like a feat very few writers attain. She goes, I have 7. First of all, we saw in the original series, like her first book was a collection of her shitty columns. Her second book was on, I don't know what it was. Was it the second book where she bought Berger the like $900 Prada shirt he didn't even want? And he was like, lady, you're shaming me. You're emasculating me. And she's like, what? Huh? Do I look like I'm bragging that I'm way more successful of a writer than you are? Yeah, you do. 7 books. Get out of here. Oh, and well, your plots are already written. Let me tell you, as a writer of nonfiction, most recently Ask Not, it is a heavy lift to take real people who everyone thinks that they know, and tell a story that they've never heard before that is nonetheless true, and present these characters in three-dimensional detail that makes it feel like you're in their heads and their hearts. It's not nothing, Sarah Jessica Parker, who I cannot believe is still on the Booker Prize committee. I mean, everybody's a star fucker now. Everybody. Okay. Now, of course, Carrie talking down to Duncan and asserting what a superior writer she is. By the way, after he's just done her this massive favor of being an unpaid first reader and blowing his own deadline to do so. Of course, this makes him want to ask her out. But not before he remonstrates himself on the way out of her door for not finishing his biography of Maggie Thatcher. And he asks himself to her, what the bloody hell takes me so long? I don't know, quality control? What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room. It's possible when you call American Financing today. If you are feeling stretched by everyday expenses, groceries, gas bills piling up, you are not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on credit cards, and there doesn't seem to be a way out in the near future. This is where American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that debt. So call American Financing today before you get to a point where you can't make those payments anymore. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans and consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. And their customers are saving an average of $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 a year raise. This is fast, it's simple, and it could save your budget this summer. So call now before it's too late. 866-885-1332. That's 866-885-1332, or visit americanfinancing.net/nerve.